My name is Marcello. Welcome to the Source AV Design Group's YouTube channel. Today we will look at Spirit Torino's newest open-back headphones and the first release of a planar magnetic headphone, the Centauri. All Spirit Torino headphones are designed and entirely handcrafted in Italy. This video will primarily discuss my impressions of the headphones' build quality, comfort, design, and sound quality. For partnered equipment to formulate my impressions, I paired the Centauri headphones with one of my headphone reference tube amplifiers, the Macintosh MHA200, fed by my reference DAC, the Chord Hugo TT2. I also listened via my reference headphone solid-state amplifier, the Chord Hugo TT2, and lastly to my other reference headphone tube amplifier, the Wu Audio WA22, fed by the Chord Hugo TT2 as the DAC on filter 2. With that said, let's discuss the build quality and design of the Centauri headphones. One of the first things I noticed when unboxing the headphones was the Alcantara and leather pads. The pads are very comfortable and spacious inside, accommodating my medium ears and likely more prominent ears quite well. One point about the ear pads I appreciate is how the Spirit Torino's proprietary ventilation pad system employs magnets for quick attachment and release, similar to how the Meze Elite or Meze Empyrean's pads attach. I wish more manufacturers would adopt this type of system, and I was happy to see Spirit Torino going this direction. The pads, which were made in cooperation with the Koni, are also unique and original for the Centauri headphones, so the manufacturer does not recommend adopting other headphone pads. Behind the pads of the Centauri sits a new material for Spirit Torino headphones, Texel wood, which involves casting epoxy resin in a panel of plywood and 2 sheets of Texilium designed to support the planar magnetic drivers, which have N52 neodymium magnets on both faces of the driver diaphragm. According to Spirit Torino, the multi-layer wood system of the cups, which is similar to what is used in the Mistral headphones, provides a laminated wood structure, which for the Centauri headphones are rigid walnut wood, allowing for a minimum mass of the static parts of the headphone's frame, delivering appropriate inertia when it is subjected to thrust determined by the accelerations of the planar driver membranes. The headband system of the Centauri headphone is comfortable, with a soft leather strap that attaches to the stainless steel headband, which connects to stainless steel gravity rods. If you have watched other videos on this channel about Spirit Torino headphones, you will already know I don't prefer gravity rods, which will be the same with these headphones. However, the rest of the headband system is solid and comfortable for my preferences. One thing I noticed about the build, which is a nitpick, was the machining on the edges of the metal portions of the metal headband. They could be softer to the touch, as the edges and cuts feel sharper and not as smooth as I prefer. From a comfort perspective, weighing around 495 grams, the headphones are comfortable even for longer listening sessions. The spacious soft pads and soft leather headband strap are a pleasure to wear when listening. So while the build quality of the Centauri is good compared to other similarly priced $3,000 planar magnetic headphones like the Meze Empyrean, the Centauri's build is not at the same level. However, I like the evolutionary steps they are taking with the headband and ear pads, showing that they are not afraid to keep innovating to improve their headphones. The Centauri include double-section copper OFC cables, which presented no issues for me when listening. According to Spirit Torino, the isodynamic planar Centauri headphones have an FR of 15 to 40,000 Hz, a 22 ohm impedance, and a sensitivity of 102 dB. I will link to Spirit Torino's website in the video description if you want to learn more about the technical design and the headphones. So let's get into my sound impressions of the headphones. I started listening first with the Wu Audio WA22 headphone tube amp paired up with the Chord Hugo TT2 as its DAC on filter 2. All the tubes are stock from Wu except for the 6S and 7 driver tubes, which I have swapped from the included Raytheon tubes to a pair of NOS RCA 6S and 7 GTB black bass driver tubes. If you saw our recent video on the WA22, you know I am a big fan of this amplifier, and it has a unique way of adding additional warmth, specifically in the bass and mid-bass to headphones like the Odyssey LCD5, bringing the sound of those headphones more in line with my preferences when paired with the WA22. The WA22 headphone tube amplifier, Chord TT2 DAC, and Centauri headphones combo may not be well suited for all listeners looking for a closer to neutral presentation for their headphones. I found the upper mid-range energy of the Centauri to be too pulled back for pairing with the WA22, at least with my current complement of tubes and my preferences. The headphones bass sounds deep, vibrant, with good mid-bass punch, and in my listening sessions, I found this area of the FR to be the star of the show when listening to the Centauri. The power of the WA22 has no issue driving the Centauri, however the audible system matching may make other headphone amp pairings a better bet, as the warmer tuning of the Centauri paired with the warmer sound of the WA22 might be a bit too much of a good thing for some listeners. Of course, this will come down to your personal preferences, and listening to the 80s electronic playlists on Roon with artists like New Order, Kraftwerk, Depeche Mode, the Pet Shop Boys, Tears for Fears, and others was enjoyable with the WA22 and Centauri headphone combo. That sound may not be for everyone, however, but bass heads and bass lovers will likely be emotionally moved by the sub-bass and mid-bass emphasis this combo presents. The treble of the Centauri is present and shimmery without sounding overly fatiguing, which places good emphasis on much of the 80s electronic synths found on this playlist. The sound does come across as a bit thicker in presentation with this amplifier headphone pairing, taking away some from instrument separation and mid-range definition, which is more noticeable with some genres of music like classical, orchestral, and vocal-based jazz. The Centauri may sound dark to some listeners due to the emphasis on the bass regions and the balance of the rest of the FR when paired with the WA-22, which some listeners may prefer. For my personal preferences, I like headphones like the LCD5, Meze Elite, the headphone from Head Audio, or my Sennheiser headphones with the WA-22. A better match for the Centauri headphones would likely be one of Wu Audio's more neutral, resolving sounding amplifiers, such as the WA-23 Luna. Knowing the WA-22 is the warmest sounding headphone amplifier I have in-house, I felt the Centauri might pair better with the more mid-range, forward, and neutral sounding MHA-200 headphone tube amplifier. My suspicions were correct when I queued up Tool's Fear Inoculum album. I immediately could hear how the more neutral and mid-forward sound of the MHA-200 was better paired with a bass-emphasized warmer sound of the Centauri. However, the upper mid-range may need to be more balanced with EQ or tone control for some listeners who enjoy more energy for strings and a bit more vocal definition. Of course, the only real way you will know is if you listen to the headphones, as we all differ on what we prefer for sound signatures. For my preferences, the mid-range was a bit too pulled back, even when paired with the most mid-range focused headphone amplifier I have in-house, the MHA-200. The sub-bass, bass, and treble frequencies sound to have the most emphasis when listening to the Centauri. Without taking measurements or reviewing manufacturer or user measurements, which I couldn't find anywhere online yet for these headphones, they sound to have a warm, or what some will say is a V-shaped signature when listening with the MHA-200 fed by the Hugo TT2 as the DAC, which may fit some listeners that enjoy headphones with this type of sound signature. For audiophiles or listeners that appreciate a more balanced sounding set of headphones, I will link to other Spirit Torino videos we have made so you can consider another headphone from Spirit Torino that may better fit that sound signature. Or you will want to use EQ or tone control with the Centauri to balance their sound signature for your preferences. Nevertheless, the sound signature of the Centauri is far from offensive and is enjoyable with the MHA-200 headphone amplifier. Timbre of instruments such as drums and kick drums are represented well by the Centauri. However, the electric guitar doesn't have the bite and tone I prefer when listening to some of my favorite music artists like Jimi Hendrix, Dire Straits, Pink Floyd, Tool, or Led Zeppelin. Having the mid-range pulled back some does help to create the audible illusion of a larger, more open separated soundstage when listening to the Centauri. Now, the soundstage is not super exaggerated or super wide sounding like a pair of HD 800Ss, and they are not nearly as separated sounding as, say, an LCD5. However, both those headphones also come with their own set of quirks, more specifically, very anemic or neutral bass. Since the Centauri sound leans warmer, some users will find they likely pair better with brighter, more analytical sounding amps. I would not characterize the Chord Hugo TT2 as a bright sounding amplifier, but I would say it does lean a bit analytical sounding, especially on filter 2. Pairing the most neutral sounding headphone amplifier I have in-house, the Chord TT2, up with the Centauri, was the absolute best pairing I have in-house for my preferences, allowing for a more dynamic, better separated, and detailed sound signature when listening to the Centauri headphones. When the Centauri is paired with the TT2 headphone amplifier and DAC, the Centauri plays better with more types of music, helping to better balance their overall signature. Of course, you could also utilize tone control or EQ to achieve the optimal balance for the headphones and your system, as we discussed. However, listening to different equipment to find a synergistic pairing is still interesting. The sound of the Centauri headphones differs from other Spirit Torino headphones I have heard or any other headphones I have in-house, so it took me some listening time to adjust to their sound signature. At $3,000, they have some serious competition in the headphone world, but I am confident some listeners will highly enjoy the sound of the Centauri, and others will lean in a different direction, as with all things in the Head-Fi world. Suppose you are in the market for a new set of planar magnetic headphones and want handmade headphones from Italy. In that case, I think you will want to listen to these headphones first before clicking the buy button, as they may be a bit more amplifier and DAC dependent from a system matching sound perspective for many listeners, and may require some tone control or EQ to get them just right. However, suppose you are looking for a very comfortable, bass-emphasized, warmer-leaning, somewhat V-shaped sounding planar magnetic headphone, In that case, the Centauri may be a good fit, and I encourage you to listen at CanJam SoCal this year, as Spirit Torino will be attending, to see if they fit your preferences. If you are interested in trading up your old headphones, amplifiers, or other gently used audio gear for a new set of headphones or a new amplifier, check out the links in the video description to our trade-up program, and don't forget we will price match other authorized dealers. We have some cool videos coming this year with new product announcements, so please consider subscribing to our channel today. From $150 earphones to multi-million-dollar home audio, cinema, and automation systems, TSAV is a hi-fi enthusiast paradise for building the system of your dreams. So let's start the conversations in the video comments on what you think of these Spirit Torino headphones. If you have heard the Centauri at one of the audio shows this year, what did you think? And what amp and DAC were they paired up with? While you're there, smash that like button for us. Until next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.